Hello, this is part 1 in a multi-part series on how to play Liar's Dice. This video will teach you how to play Pirate's Dice. To find the written instructions for Pirate's Dice, go to cupsanddice.com/instructions and under the Liar's Dice tab, select the Pirate's Dice preset. To set up Pirate's Dice, give every player 3 dice and a cup to conceal their dice. The objective of this game is to be the last man standing. This game is played in rounds. Rounds have phases. We start with a rolling phase. Then players bid in the bidding phase. After a liar is accused, we enter the scoring phase, and finally when the dice are counted, the round loser is determined in the progression phase. The loser in this scenario will be out of the game permanently because this is a sudden death game. We start with the rolling phase. Everybody shakes their dice in their cup, and you keep your dice concealed from other players. Here we have an example board with 4 players, Munir, Minerva, Mike, and Yaoub. Remember, they can't see each other's dice, but for the sake of the tutorial and understanding basic strategy, we've revealed the entire board. Once the rolling phase is done, we move into the bidding phase. Before we go through the example, we need to explain some things. Players must bid in order using the bidding rules, which we'll go over later. Once a bid is made, it is the standing bid. All previous bids are forgotten. Players bid in turn order until a player calls another a liar. Players must either bid higher or call liar on their turn. Those are the only 2 options for this game setting. Finally, anyone can call liar. Priority is given to the closest player in turn order. It doesn't actually make sense for this game type as you risk sudden death. This can make sense in other games generated at cupsanddice.com with our Liar's Dice rule generator. So, for the bidding rules, declaring a bid always has the structure where you state the quantity, then the dice face value. You can see for the first example here, we have 3 dice of face value 4, and you would declare this as 3 4s. We also need to discuss the bidding structure. In this case, it's quantity bidding. These 3 4s can be outbid by 4 4s because there are more 4s. In the next example, 2 6s are beaten by 4 1s because again, the quantity of 4 1s is more than the quantity of the 2 6s. With the final example, we see that 3 5s will be beaten by 3 6s because the denomination is higher. This means quantity can match so long as the face value is higher. If the quantity is higher, any face value will work. So back to the example. Munir is the starting bid. We have arbitrarily chosen Munir as the starting player, but in your game you can either roll a dice or let the youngest player go. Munir sees 2 2s under his cup. Munir can't see the other dice, but he's thinking there has to be at least one more 2. So Munir bids 3 2s. Munir doesn't know this, but Mikey has a 2 across the table, covering Munir's standing bid. Now it's Minerva's turn. She doesn't feel comfortable with 2s because she doesn't have any, but she does have a 3. She bids 3 3s. She makes the wrong assumption that she's covered by the other 9 dice. There are only 2 3s on the table between her and Munir. But the cool thing is, it doesn't matter that Minerva is wrong if the next bid is made. Once Mike makes his bid of 3 5s, that is the standing bid. Everything earlier is forgotten. Mike makes his bid of 3 5s thinking Minerva's bid was reasonable even though it's a lie. You'll want to be careful with your bids. You don't want to be caught, and you don't want to make unreasonable bids that put the next player in a tough situation. If Minerva would have bet 3 6s, that would mean Mike has to bid 4 of a number. In that scenario, Mike might have called liar. With a standing bid of 3 5s, Yaoub is in a tough spot. If Mike bid on 5s, he probably has at least 1, and Yaoub can see 2 5s under his own cup. Yaoub can't call liar in this situation. He has 2 5s, plus he assumes at least 1 5 under Mike's cup. This, in total, satisfies the standing bid of 3 5s. Yaoub has taken some time thinking. For bidding, no excessive delay of game is allowed. In formal settings, you are timed. In more casual settings, you tell your friend to hurry up. This is a game among friends, and Munir tells Yaoub to hurry up. Yaoub bids 4 5s. Munir's dice bias him towards bidding with 2s, and to beat the standing bid of 4 5s, he will need to bid 5 2s. That's an unreasonable bid by his standard. 5 2s is more than half the dice as 2s. So Munir just calls liar. Calling liar concludes the bidding phase as well. The bidding phase is over, now we score the dice. We need to count the relevant dice under everyone's cup, so we count the 5s. Going over the standing bid is valid. Players are not punished for the extra dice over the standing bid. In this version of the game, 1s are not wilds. That means 1s simply count as 1s. In the next part of this series, we'll incorporate 1s as wild. Back to the example. Munir is the accuser and Yaoub is the defendant. Standing bid is 4 5s, and we need to reveal the dice and count. There are only 3 5s including Mike's 5, so Yaoub is wrong. We move to game progression. There are many types of game progression which can be varied at the website, but in this game, Yaoub is out because it's sudden death. We have completed a round and you should get the idea at this point. We repeat the phases until there is a winner. The players now all re-roll, and normally Yaoub would start in other game types, but because he's out, the next player, Munir, would start the bidding. These 3 players will bid over each other until a liar is called out. You do the same scoring and game progression each time. With each sudden death, you approach your winner. This version of Liar's Dice is one of the simplest versions of the game, so be sure to check out part 2. My website, cupsanddice.com, documents over 200,000 variations of Liar's Dice. Also head over to cupsanddice.com to buy your own set of Liar's Dice. The cool thing about our dice cups is that you can use them on the paired site to play all the public domain dice games like Farkle, Bunco, and Yatzy. And that concludes the video. Please like and subscribe.